Hello, everybody. It is Thursday afternoon at 3:44 p.m. Okay, actually it says 3:45. Sorry about that. I'm a little bit late. I am coming to you live today from upstate New York, from my second home that I keep talking about, because I am just so excited to be able to live out in the country and go hiking and trail running all I want while working from anywhere. So sorry if you keep hearing about this. It will be over soon. Anyways, so today I sent an email to those of you who are subscribed to my email list where I share business tips and advice and other amazing and interesting content so you can grow your business and start making money doing what you love. And today I sent an email about WordPress versus Squarespace. And I sent this because last night I was asked about this, 3 days before I was asked about it, and maybe 2 or 3 other times last week I was asked about this. I don't really discuss this very much, but I actually do have a lot of areas of expertise in this, in websites, web development, digital marketing, SEO, and which website is better for your business versus another. So there's a lot of misinformation out there, right? Squarespace, I never want to ever put down a company because I really commend all the work that anybody does to build a company. Squarespace is a wonderful company. They've done a great job getting a product out there, marketing the hell out of it, and getting a lot of users on their platform. Personally, I do not think it's a good idea to put up a Squarespace website. And I'm sorry for those of you who have a Squarespace site. You might be upset hearing this, but it's not a big deal. It doesn't make or break your business like right now. But I'm speaking to the people who want a new website or are thinking of upgrading their website or changing their website. And here is why you need to do it on WordPress and not Squarespace, and definitely not on Wix or Weebly or Google Website Builder or whatever it is, or any of the other free or cheap platforms. So I've spent years studying this, and with my other business, I've actually done pretty well, ranking pretty high in the Google search engine compared to other big, huge brands in my market. I am in the running market, which is not very niche. It's actually a quite big market. There's, in the US alone, 52 million runners, and worldwide, I forgot the number, but obviously it's a lot more. And because the internet is a World Wide Web, you want to rank as high as possible. Now, when I say all this, I just want to begin by saying, first of all, not every business even needs a website. So first of all, don't freak out. Second, not every business is going to depend on something like SEO to grow their business. But for my other business, I am selling running clothing, and I was targeting a certain customer, and it is a niche. And actually a lot of my sales, a huge amount of my sales actually came from what they call organic traffic, which is from people who are searching, whether it's in Google or another search engine. I forgot what other search engines seem to exist these days, unfortunately. But when you type in a certain search term like running shorts with pockets, I wanted those people to land on my website and buy my running shorts that had huge pockets to carry everything they need to run a marathon. And actually, that's how I've gotten a lot of my sales. So that's why I know so much about SEO. I do not call myself an SEO expert, but I tend to know more than a lot of the just people that haven't studied this, because I have spent like 4 or 5 years studying it. And I've worked with a lot of SEO experts. So the number one reason why you want your website on WordPress over Squarespace is for SEO. Also, so WordPress is a huge open source platform that, I forgot what the percentage was, 28% of the internet is run using WordPress sites. And it's not me making this up, these are statistics. Squarespace is nice, but in the end, WordPress really dominates. They've been dominating for years. It's open source, meaning you can pretty much customize it in any way you want. A lot of huge companies actually build their websites on the WordPress, it's called CMS, Content Management System, because there's so much you can do with it. And really this applies to any small business, big business, anybody at all. It really is much more beneficial to invest in a WordPress site over a Squarespace site. Also, I like to think of all business as long-term investments. So regardless of where you'll be in 2 to 10 years, you have to think long-term, right? if you spend the time and money and energy building a Squarespace site and putting a lot of work into it, especially if you do content, like blogging and content marketing, that is not going to pay off in the end. It's not going to pay off in the long term. First of all, Squarespace is a privately, well, I don't know, maybe they're publicly held now, but they're a company. So it's not considered open source. It's a company that owns all that code. And if something were to happen to that company, I don't know, I doubt anything's going to happen. But, your website would not be yours, essentially. It's Squarespace's. So you're using their platform. And because WordPress is open source, and it's an open platform, it's a little more yours, even though technically like no one owns this in a way, kind of like real estate. Well, some real estate. So I hope that makes some sense. Second, for the long term, when you're doing things like content marketing, blogging, writing articles, building content on your site, which essentially drives a lot of search traffic to your website, that builds over time. So when you have a website over, 3 or 4 years, or especially like 7 or 8 years, you build over time. There's links, there's more content, there's more articles, more images, and it builds up. It's like a bank account, let's say. And over time, Google and other search engines rank your content, which eventually drives traffic to your website. Now, Squarespace is not really built for SEO, search engine optimization, not as much as WordPress is. So that's one big part of it. Another thing is too, in the long term with WordPress, there's so many additions and add-ons, so they're called plugins, and those are just the beginning. There's so much customization you can do. But you could, let's say, for example, my new website, I have information on there, but let's say I want to start selling something down the road. I can just add a plugin and have an e-commerce store on my website. Squarespace, you can do either one, whatever, but it's very different. There's so many limitations with Wix, Weebly, Squarespace. I mean, even Shopify, which my other business is built on, has, a lot of limitations. Although I guess if you hire someone can do anything with a lot of code if they know what they're doing. But WordPress has unlimited capabilities, and this is why big companies use WordPress. And here's the thing, I've done a lot of research on this, but in the end, if you add up the amount of money you will end up spending on something like Squarespace or I don't even know how much Wix is, but I'm just comparing Squarespace. WordPress essentially ends up being cheaper if you do the math and you look at it from a long-term perspective. So the absolute cheapest way of doing a WordPress site is buy your URL, which I think you can get for $5 to $10. The average is like $9. You pay for hosting, which the cheapest I've found so far is like $3.95 a month, and that's an ongoing thing. And the URL, you pay $10 a year or whatever it is. And that's it. And then there's free themes, and if you really want to do everything yourself, you just do it all for free. It's easy. It's not hard to set up. I know it looks a little complicated. It's maybe not as user-friendly from a person who really doesn't know what they're doing. But honestly, if you can learn Squarespace, you can learn WordPress. It's really not that hard. Squarespace charges a monthly fee, and they have different levels of payments. And if you go with the absolute lowest payment, great, like you have a website, but there's a lot of limitations and the capabilities just aren't there. So as a business owner, especially if you're in e-commerce or have a business where you're trying to sell digital products or sell products from web traffic, you will eventually want to upgrade, and that ends up costing a lot of money. So that's where I say WordPress is a better investment. Here's what I really recommend people to do. I could talk about this for hours, but the way I see it is if you're going to put up a website, make it look nice, right? Yes, Squarespace has pretty themes and they look nice, but first of all, they all look alike. Second, WordPress has gazillions of themes that look completely different, and there's so many options and so many offerings out there, and there's so many developers you can hire to help you customize these. I mean, honestly, even I do WordPress customization because it's so easy. I've just done it for people, and it's become kind of like a side business for me. But it's not hard, and anybody can pretty much do it. So that's where when people argue that, oh, Squarespace is just easier. Yeah, maybe it's easier. I think it's great to have a Squarespace site if you're, a restaurant or a local business. Like, let's say you're only based in one town or one city, and you just want a web presence. great, get a Squarespace site, just because it's easy. It still costs money, unfortunately. But then you could also be on Yelp. Yelp is great for locally based businesses. Again, there's so many arguments against this, but if you're trying to build a bigger business that expands globally and sells products, whether they're digital or tangible, you want to think about global perspective, right? You want someone, I get sales. I have a relatively little running brand based in New York City, and I get sales from all over the world. I actually just the other week shipped stuff to Tokyo, and I got sales from Australia, and a lot of times get sales from Europe, and it's like they all find me mostly through search because I don't even do that much digital marketing anymore. So you really have to think about the long-term vision of what your business is. So let's say you even want to be, if you're a life coach or nutrition coach or starting some kind of healing business, you have to think, okay, maybe now you're doing in-person, sessions of some sort, healing sessions, but what do you want to do in the future? Do you want to do, digital downloads, sell an ebook, do, remote sessions, whatever? Then you have to think about how are you going to add to your website in the future. So these are just some things. I could actually talk for probably 2 hours about this, but I'm really trying to keep these Facebook Lives short so that all of you can actually take 10 minutes to watch them and learn something valuable. If you have any questions about this, you can just comment below in this Facebook Live or shoot me an email or book a call with me. I can definitely help you out. Also, because it's actually gotten to the point where I'm very passionate about this because I see so many people wasting time and lots of money on doing it all wrong and doing websites that, again, just waste so much time and money that I really, I want to help you. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I can argue, and it's not just me saying this. I learned this from people who are some of the top SEO experts on the planet, some people who are the top digital marketers in New York City. Thank God I know some of them, and they're my friends. Thank you guys. But this is a common agreement. It's just that I've spent a lot of years researching it and learning it and taking the time to learn it as much as possible so I can pass on this information to you. So feel free to reach out to me if you have any more questions about this. It just really upsets me to see so many amazing businesses being built on the wrong platforms and putting so much time and energy into things that aren't going to pay off in the long term. And things like Instagram marketing that doesn't pay off in the long term, because maybe their strategy isn't right. I can talk to you about that too. But that's a whole nother Facebook Live. So anyways, again, join my email list. If you want the email from today about why I recommend WordPress over Squarespace and how what I offer, I do only for particular people, only if you're really serious. I can do some SEO audits and SEO strategizing for you. I also, again, just because I'm asked to do websites so often, I do some websites for some people, mostly really interesting projects like VR companies and some friends and people who are doing really amazing things in the world that need affordable websites. I do that myself. But if you need referrals for other web designers, web developers, people who know WordPress, people who know how to optimize your WordPress or even transfer your Squarespace to WordPress, I have names for you. They are people I've worked with who I highly recommend who are super affordable. I'm only saying this because I care. Trust me, I don't get any referrals back from this. If I did, I would be building a whole entire business around that, wouldn't I? That's not the point. The point is I want people to do things right and as best as possible, especially when you're given an option of doing things that cost the same or one's cheaper than the other and one's better than the other. Why would you not take the best and cheapest option? It just makes total sense. It's just a lot of people don't know this. So the most bang for your buck and your time. And please reach out to me if you have any more questions. Again, it's bethaweinstein.com. Just click here, put a comment in, and I will get back to you and answer any questions you have. Thanks so much, and join me every single Thursday on this Facebook page for your questions and answers about business and anything you want. It's at 3:44 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the USA. Thank you so much and have a wonderful week, and I will see you next Thursday at 3:44. Bye.